Well, Courtney got Florida this weekend. They're a pretty good team, just a little bit, but you guys are too, obviously. You look at the stats in the SEC. I mean, y'all are pretty much neck and I know top three offenses, pretty similar defensively, and pitching as well. So, again, it's the SEC, just another tough week and a top 10 matchup at Bogle.
Yep, you got it, Kyle. Yep. It'll be yeah, it's going to be a really great matchup. It's I mean they're really complete. They yeah, I think how you said it, they actually kind of like we have similar styles, we have similar production, we have similar like a lot of it is really close and they're playing really well right now. So I think that's the piece that we have to add to Florida's line is they're playing really well right now. Coming off a series where they win the series with Tennessee. Um, they're pitching, keeping a very explosive Tennessee lineup in check. I think Rothrock's looks as good as she's ever looked. And so they're getting production throughout. They're getting, a couple bombs off Pickens deep in their order. And so yeah, it's gonna be a really, really great matchup.
When you look at Kaylee's grand slam last week, it's just interesting because the rest of the kids that were on base, Ella McDowell, a freshman All-American, Dakota Kennedy, a Gold Glove, Tiana, who's I think two or three time All-Conference selection, and then Kaylee, who's done what she's done throughout her career, was what happened in that sequence, and again, who was on base? Was that kind of who? Whenever you were recruiting these kids, is that exactly what you envisioned, that type of situation?
Yes,
Like Kaylee had
bases
said,
loaded and a home run. No,
right,
yeah,
right.
I think when you recruit them, you look at them as really complete athletes that are really good at what they do. I mean, you're looking at Ella McDowell, and she's an electric player. I mean, Dakota Kennedy, two-time All-American. I mean, we've had to dig in against her on the other side, and one of the hardest players to get out, Tiana Bell, and what she brings, just physical confidence, like drives the ball, and then seeing Wiki's numbers of what she did at Texas Tech, like that whole sequence was so crazy because UConn on the other side, and you're deciding whether you should walk Tiana Bell to get to Dakota Kennedy. Like what? I was like, Co, is that a first for you? Like like and not nothing with T, but like you have to pick your poison there. And they went around T to dig in against Dakota Kennedy with bases loaded. It's like I don't know anyone that chooses that, like, but also like it's hard to throw to T, and then Co has a really great bat and earns a walk, and then you have to dig in on Wyckoff, and then she hits her grand slam. Like that whole sequence was, well, one, we needed it. I'm like, obviously we needed it. That game was like made me want to bang my head in a wall. But yeah, I think that they have just so much that they individually bring to the table of who they are individually, but then you put them together and just their production, their confidence, their skill set, their all of those things. It's it's really fun to watch.
And last one I have for now, of course, last night you guys played UCA, played them twice in the last week. And I know you and Natalie Shock have a really good relationship. And I mean, obviously, she's been massive for softball at UCA and Arkansas, really on a national level too, and has the field named after that happened at a game that y'all were playing them 2 years ago. So, just from your perspective, what has she meant to the game of softball, not just in Arkansas, but just really on a national level too?
Well, we are lucky that we know her in a couple different capacities, and the one that I'm most fortunate to know her in is friend. And so, just seeing what she's done for UCA and softball, and it's it's incredible. I think when, being here 11 years now and seeing just the trajectory of softball, like where it was over a decade ago and where it is now, you have to look at those big players in the state, and Natalie's definitely one of them, of just growing the game and really pushing to just elevate the exposure and the level and all of those things. And she's definitely a reason that um we've played that series, that matchup, and continue to do it. because one, what it does to the state, but just having a relationship with someone like Natalie and seeing firsthand what she's done for softball there. And then we actually, she's been our site rep a number of times. And so just getting and just getting to feel that relationship and see that relationship grow and see firsthand, it's just definitely something we want to continue to pour into.
Dudley?
Coach, what kind of update do you have on Robin Heron this week?
Well, she's getting better. And so we're just kind of, it's still going to be a day-to-day thing. I was just talking to our trainer yesterday, and while she's feeling better, she still hasn't done like full workouts. So we just need to, we're going to be really mindful. We're going to be very conservative. It's something that structurally she's fine. It's just a nagging thing that if we don't take the time now, it's something that's going to linger, and we just don't want it to linger for the long haul. So we'll see. It's going to be day to day. But when she gets the go, she's going to go. I'll tell you. Obviously, she's Robin Heron, so we'll see. It's going to be a day to day thing.
In that same vein, talk about the depth you have there on the mound.
Well, yeah, I think that's been the nice thing in this stretch where we haven't had Robin to use, is seeing the other pitchers having one create like just a lot of options and seeing them step up and grow up, like seeing Sailor in the moment in Alabama and thrive in that moment. And she's looked like a different pitcher since then, just more settled. We got to see a fire in her that we knew was in there, but hadn't really come out until, her back was against the wall in a hostile environment. And, every time we, give the ball to P, she's looking better and just kind of letting, the game come back to her as she just feels better again and getting her strength back. So it's kind of been nice, not nice. I shouldn't say that, but like we've just been able to really use our depth and rely on our depth, and we're going to be stronger for it.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Eric?
Thank you. When you watch Florida on tape, what stands out? What makes their lineup so talented? Obviously, they have talented players, but what makes them such a good offense every year?
I was going to say, because they have really talented players. Well, they're just really explosive. They have a lot of tools. They have a good use of speed. But I mean, you have Taylor Shoemaker at the top. Like, she's one of the best hitters in the country. And if you get by her, then you have Jossie Erickson. I mean, come on, who's having an incredible year. And so they're just really good tone setters at the top. You're going to have to be at the top of your game from pitch one. We saw that this past weekend with Shoemaker, hitting a bomb in the first at bat of the bottom of the first. Like, that's a really big deal. And but they're getting production throughout. They have speed and Komiya and Townsend and you just like, it's such a good blend of production, and they always are so disciplined, and so they're gonna make us be our best.
And of course, Keegan Rothrock looks like she's 100% ready. What makes her such a tough pitcher to face?
Well, yeah, I think she looks as good as she's looked in her time there. And she splits the zone so well vertically, but she's throwing like 70. I think her velo's back up, and she's when you're doing that at that high a velo, it's tough to dig in on. And she's just tough, like she's tough. And so her pitches look really sharp. She's using them all really well. And she looks healthy and strong as she's ever looked.
Where do you feel your team is at right now going into this series? Obviously, you just played Central Arkansas and, of course, Connecticut and all that. Where do you feel your team is at right now at this point in the season? Is it where you want them to be? Are you close to where you want them to be?
Good question. I think we're in a good spot. I don't love how we played last weekend as a whole. And I would be crazy to say it's the same, like that you're going to have that same intensity that you are when you're digging in pitch for pitch with Alabama or Florida. And as much as I don't want it to happen, it happens. And so they've been very businesslike, and they've been very committed to their prep. And so even coming out of this stretch, And we're 5-0 in our last 5 games, but not SEC games, but just taking care of business. And I don't know, what did we end up having? I have a crick in my back. Another a few run rolls. We're not who we're going to be. We're not our best version yet. We're still figuring that out. So we, we're still figuring out who we are, how we're going to come together when we're really challenged and in that tight game. And so I think we're still learning and growing. But I like where we are. I like our progress. I like our team. And we're still a work in progress. So we're still working towards being our best, and we're not there yet.
Are you okay? Are you day to day? Like, what's your movement there? Are you?
Yes, I am. No, I have a crick in my back. I don't know what it's from. Maybe the bus yesterday. It sucks to get old, Eric. It really does. Sucks to get old.
I understand that.
I'll be fine. I'll make it. I'll make it.
Okay.
Kyle?
Chiropractor's your best friend. I'll start with that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
helps me out a
Where's
lot.
Dr. Whitelaw when you need him?
No, excuse me. I know you talked about Lily Faye, I guess, on Friday, but just as someone who covered her at the prep level, from 8th to 9th grade, obviously extremely excited for her just to see what she's doing and getting a start on Friday night. So, you've got a few young arms mixed in there with some of the veterans, and just kind of talk about, the leadership that you've seen from her and just how she's continued to develop.
Yeah, well, she's a competitor, and she has some really great tools. And she, I feel like, is just maybe at the most confident version that we've seen of her. Like she was sick over the break. And so like coming back and just kind of working towards just getting her strength back and just balancing getting your strength back and feeling like you have to get ready. Like we're seeing the best version of her right now. And it's really cool to see of like giving her the ball on Friday night and her thriving and just pitching really well. And I think that we're still figuring out our staff. I mean, early in the season, we just hadn't had the innings to really get the depth. Like no one feels bad, but like there's a lot of innings that we didn't play early in the year and great pitching performances with that. And so we're still figuring that out. We're still putting those pieces together, and Lily Faye is a big piece of that. And so it's been great to see her continue to grind and her confidence just continue to raise, and she's looking really good right now. So really happy for her.
That's all I got. Thanks.
Eric, want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I do. It's pretty good, but I've noticed since you've gone to the dugout, now you got some back issues. I'm just saying, you never had back issues when you're at third base coaching there. But anyway,
who has bigger issues than me and my back? Matt
Yeah.
Michael getting an 84-mile-an-hour line drive off the side of his leg from Tiana Bell.
Good counter. That's a good. You don't miss those. I got you.
I don't.
I want to ask you big picture here because I've had talked to some coaches. There's so much offense now in the game where I know I saw a stat where this year runs per game average is up almost a full run from last year. Walks are up a lot. I mean, we're getting some football scores out there across the country. How do you explain it? Some coaches have told me right now they feel it's too one-sided towards the offense, and there maybe should be some things addressed to maybe balance it out. Where do you stand on all that from somebody who has seen it all from a player standpoint, obviously handling the pitching staff?
I have a lot of opinions on this. I'm also a pitching coach. So you're just kind of like the whole game right now is very much geared towards offense. And that's what makes our game fun, but there's everything, fun and explosive and dynamic and all these great things, but there is a point where it's too much. And I think we're at the point where it's too much, in my opinion. Like we have more data than we've ever had. The couple things that we really need to probably look at, and as we continue to get more into data and ball flight, is the strike zone. And I think that's the thing that we really have to hone in on is making sure that our strike zone isn't getting smaller, because it's getting smaller and we know all the information. And then the other thing we need to do is look at the run rule. I think 8 is too easy to score at this point. But like we have, I think we were looking at it yesterday, and all the games in the country, over like just about half of them, there's been a team that has scored more than 8 runs. And that's a really big deal. That's a really big number. And so that's something I think we need to look at a lot of things. And we're looking at the length of our games, but we're not looking at how it coordinates with scoring. Like, we need to look at those things. Last year was the biggest jump in scoring that we had maybe ever had, definitely had in over a decade. And now we're way higher than that this year. Like, we need to start looking at these things for our game.
Interesting. I expand on the run rule. What would you like to see there?
More than 8. I think, I mean, even just like our first game with UCA, we ended up run rolling them, and it didn't feel like an 8-run difference. And right now, when you're looking at what teams are scoring, you can put together 2 innings of 5 and 3, and now next thing you know, the game's over. But like, if they had more time, who knows if they could counter that. And so I think Jackie Joseph has said it, like, I think she was on this like a while ago. But where our game is and how offensive it is, I think we have to look to increase it. Like, 8 just
Interesting.
doesn't feel big enough.
Is this something you think as coaches you'll talk in the off season? Is that how does that work? Is that
I
something
hope so. I mean, I'm going to bring it up in our meeting.
Yeah.
We're looking at a lot of things. I have to believe that. I have to believe that others think that that's something we should look at. Maybe not.
I know.
A lot of times I'm on my own island, and that's fine. But this one feels like, why are we still at 8? We've been in plenty of games where I'm like, man, that game's over. And like, if that team had another inning, or if that team had another 2 innings, like, it's a different game. So I definitely think it's something we need to look at.
Well, I co-sign in a lot of your ideas there, and what I'm pro pitcher, coach. So I want to help
pitcher, but you know what isn't this game? This game is not pro pitcher.